All right, so I'm going to go over this Social Security survivor benefits for children, and basically I'm going to walk you through, if you have a loved one who's passed away, the parent of a child that has passed away, or maybe the grandparent. So we have a child that no longer has the primary person who earned money bringing money into the home, and whether or not we can apply for some kind of government benefit to help out those children. Okay, first off, how do you apply? So if your spouse has passed away and you have minor children, you cannot apply online. You're going to have to call a toll-free number. The number's right here. I'll put it in the comment section below so you can get it and call the number. They can walk you through what needs to get done. But if you want to just ignore the whole video I'm going to go over, you can just call the number and get started in the process. But if you want a little bit background information, who can apply, what are the rules? First off, your child has to be unmarried. So that's going to be the biggest. And the first step is, if you have a 17-year-old child who's married to somebody else, they cannot get any survivor benefits. The child has to be younger than the age of 18. You need to apply before they're 17 and a half. 18 and 19-year-old full-time student. So if they're a student, so you have a 17-year-old that's over 17 and a half, you're going to apply, and they're still a student, then you can apply for benefits. And now, if they're 18 or older with a disability, they can do it anytime before the age of 22. After 22, you're going to have to switch over to them having their own, receiving SSI or other programs, but we will cover, or the government will cover up to the age of 22. Additional possible sources. So this is one thing that's not very commonly understood. If the primary supporter for the child was a grandparent or somebody else, and we're looking for benefits, we can go after the grandparents' Social Security benefits, or it can be a step parent that was taking care of the child. So we're going to have to look at those relationships to see if it's possible. So just in case, the next part, so either your spouse or somebody else, or your former spouse that passed away, that you're looking for benefits never worked, we can try to go after the grandparents. All right? And once again, you call Social Security. They're going to help you and walk you through those steps. But you're going to want to be able to gather some documents together. I'm not going to worry about applying for benefits in this video about disabled or retired benefits. I'm going after, well, if a parent passes away, or a grandparent or somebody else, but having worked long enough, whether we can get their Social Security. All right. So first off, what does that work long enough mean? So we need some work history. In 2020, if each credit that you get is earned after you earned $1,410. So each $1,410 that you earn, so basically you earn $6,000 in a year, you're going to get 4 credits. You can only get 4 credits in a year, okay? And then we're going to add up all your credits over a period of time. If you're somewhere between the ages of 31 and 42, you need 20 credits to be able to get some money for the child benefit. So let's say your father passes away. He only worked 3 years. That's all he worked. You will not be eligible to apply for child benefits under Social Security for him because he had to work for at least 5 years. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't look other places. Look to potentially step parents, or that, well, they would have to have passed. But if a step parent passed away or a grandparent has passed away, you can possibly look there. But there are additional requirements on whether or not that's going to happen, and you'll need to call the Social Security Department to see if they're eligible. Now, the biggest thing is, what documents, before you even call, should you get ready? First off, get the child's birth certificate ready. You're going to need to send the original in. Proof of the worker's marriage to the child's natural or adoptive parent if the child is the worker's stepchild. Okay. Proof of the child's U.S. citizenship. So you need to prove, or a lawful resident. So you have to be a U.S. citizen or a lawful resident to receive any of these benefits. W-2 forms if the child has earnings. So the government wants to know if all of a sudden, let's go back in time when Britney Spears was making, tens of millions of dollars as a child. and her father passed away, we don't want to pay her Social Security benefits because she earns enough money to support herself. So if the child works, you need to send in those the W-2 to show how much the child is earning. This might be the hardest one to obtain, proof of the worker's death. Of course, they're going to want to see the death certificate. Usually, you could possibly prove it a different way if you can't, but really you need to get the death certificate. Now, if you know anything about trying to obtain a death certificate, especially from an ex-spouse, you will not be able to collect one. Okay, it's going to be very difficult. Your children might be able to collect one, but that's going to be your best bet of trying to get access to a death certificate. But usually asking an executor of an estate or a family member to go and get that for you is how you're going to do it. And if they don't want to help you, that's going to be a problem. Okay, at the end of the day, if all of that is a problem, you can apply to the court and every judge will help you in any kind of situation to get a death certificate, to get Social Security benefits for a child. If there is additional programs available to veterans who served during a wartime, you're going to need the U.S. military discharge papers to get those benefits. All right. If your child is over 18, remember we talked about 18 to 22, if they have a disability that you possibly can get them on some assistance, you're going to need to fill out this report. I'll put this link below in the comment section so you can go there, click on it, fill it out if they have a disability, and you'll need to authorize the government to be able to access their medical records to make a determination. Okay? Now, they're also going to want to know who they're going to be paying this money to, the guardian's information. So you need to provide your birth certificate and other proof of, or other proof that you were born in the United States, that you're a U.S. citizen, and that you're married to this person. Okay, so we want to know were you married to this person at some time, or were you married right now? If you're not married, they're going to want to know that you're the guardian somehow, so you are the parent of the child. All right, this is an important tip, something that you should know, and that is you can send in copies of most things. Some documents you can't, such as the birth certificate. So they're going to ask for originals. Then they promise they're going to send them back to you. The best the government can promise. But that is an annoying thing to have to deal with. All right, questions that you'll be asked. Now, these questions I've taken off of the Social Security Administration's webpage. These are the things that they say that we usually ask people. They're pretty straightforward. This is one of the difficult ones that I was going through. You're going to have to get the workers, the person who is deceased, their Social Security number. If you're divorced, once again, this is going to be a little bit difficult. You can usually get that off the death certificate, though. Or if we have somebody else, that's going to be difficult. Another difficult question, not a difficult question, I should say, is they're going to ask like terms like legal representative. Well, who's the legal representative? You know, when you're a parent, you'd say, well, I'm the guardian of the child. I am the parent of the child. That will give you authority to receive the money on behalf of the child. They're also going to ask you about your criminal record, any convictions that you may have, because they're not going to give money. So somebody else is going to have to receive the money if you have a felony, especially a felony for theft or anything like that. You're going to have to work around that. And last, they're going to want to know additional information about where the child's living, how long that child has lived with certain people. And last, I think this is the last slide actually that I have on here. But that's generally the two parts when you're applying for Social Security benefits for a child. You need the documentation and be able to answer the questions. If you have the documents, usually you can answer all their questions. So gather these 4 documents up front, and you should be good to move forward. And then call the number and get started as soon as possible. The faster you get applied, once you apply, then you're going to get paid from that point on.